Just ahead on CTV News, Maryland's top tax official has good news and bad news about the state of the economy.
The state of the economy is strong, but we have work to do to ensure we have a high-performing economy, but we have work to do.
Plus, a friendly wager leaves 2 council members cold and wet. And mental health, the impact on one local family. All that and more coming up next on CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. Maryland's economic woes predate the pandemic and serve as flashing yellow lights for state fiscal health. That's according to a first-of-its-kind economic analysis report by Comptroller Brooke Learman's office. The report shows that the state has the nation's lowest unemployment rate and highest median income, but it has barely grown since 2016 as the nation's economy experienced a double-digit expansion.
Sluggish growth is really concentrated in the private sector. So the federal government sector has been growing during and since the pandemic, but in the private sector, we haven't seen as much growth. And a big piece of that is because of a labor shortage. We have labor participation failing to rebound to pre-pandemic levels. There are some structural issues perhaps that are causing declines in labor participation, and we've seen more women leave the workforce. So we also have one thing to remember as well is that although it's wonderful to have a low unemployment rate, it also means we don't have enough people looking for work. So there are many people who are not being counted in that unemployment rate.
To read the full report, go to marylandtaxes.gov and click on State of the Economy. State and Maryland Capitol Police respond to a bomb threat made against the State House in Annapolis. The incident, which happened Wednesday morning, came on the same day that a number of other states received a threatening email claiming explosives were placed at state capitol buildings. So far, no explosives have been located across the country, but according to Maryland Matters, there was heightened police activity around the historic building just prior to the start of the day. We have an update to that fatal New Year's Day hit and run we brought to you on Tuesday. Police have identified the victim as 50-year-old Tom Gregorio of Landover, who was found deceased in the roadway near Landover Road and Neighbor Lane. Officers found Gregorio unconscious around 8:45 Monday night. Still no word on the make or model of the car involved in the incident or the identity of the driver. It was a friendly wager that left 2 Prince George's County members cold and wet. It was a humble moment for Sidney Harrison and Calvin Hawkins. The 2 were forced to wash Police Chief Malik Aziz's vehicle. They also had to sing the Commanders fight song, but replace references to the Commanders with Dallas, and they had to buy the chief, who came to Prince George's from Dallas, lunch. Turns out Harrison and Hawkins bet Aziz that the Commanders, against all odds, would stomp Dallas when the teams met on Thanksgiving. But if you recall, Dallas crushed our Commanders 45-10.
Now, see, just like you see him washing the car here today, he believed that the Washington Commanders were going to beat the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and the Washington Turkeys got stuffed, right?
Well,
and
so we lost, but I want to say this. The chief gave inaccurate information, so we got to do some fact checking. But the fact checking is going to happen in the middle of January. When they go to the playoffs, they'll be one and done. You know how the Cowboys do.
How do you feel?
Horrible. Terrible. My great team, with all this winning history, let us down this season on Thanksgiving Day, and as a result, Vice Chair Harrison and I have to wash this car. And look at the colors. And then we had to wear this and sing Dallas songs, so it's a terrible moment for me.
For diehard fans, all is not lost. The Commanders get another chance. They face Dallas next Sunday. Public health officials say a new variant is behind a number of recent COVID infections. JN.1 has spread across the world and continued a pattern of COVID cases rising around the holiday seasons. The variant is now the most common strand of the virus in the U.S. Hospitalizations are on the rise, but they are lower than 2022 and 2021's numbers. The overlap of COVID spikes with the flu and other respiratory viruses could mean an extra strain on hospitals. Experts are urging Americans to vaccinate against COVID and the flu, and they say it's not too late to protect yourself from the flu virus's peak. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. After the break, we'll hear about a young man's struggle with mental health. Back in a moment.
Selective service system. That sounds like a future Steve problem.
Oh, Steve, it's me, future you.
You're me.
Yeah, and you need to register with SSS, because if you don't, we won't get our dream job in 10 years. Save our future.
Okay, oh, that was easy.
Thanks, Steve. Oh, by the way, if you meet a girl named Shirley, run the other way.
Register at sss.gov today. It's the law.
Good evening and welcome back. Montgomery County is offering free passes to fitness rooms and many recreational activities. This is the second year residents can access free RecFit passes after their extreme popularity last year. In 2023, more than 100,000 passes were issued, nearly 4 times the number than the previous year. The only recreational activity not included in the program is access to county aquatic centers. Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich says equitable access helps residents improve their health without costly gym memberships. According to Mental Health America, nearly half of all Americans will meet the criteria for a diagnosable mental health condition at some point in their life. Tonight, Byron Scott tells us about a young man who struggled with mental health issues and wound up taking his own life.
He had recently got a new car. He was applying for a passport.
It's been more than 6 months since Darnell Tanksley's son, Ardmore, took his own life.
10 o'clock, I heard a bang at the door, and I was thinking to myself, you know, what is he doing now?
Ardmore suffered from and was treated for depression, which is a form of mental illness. Darnell says he thought everything was all right, but on June 26, 2023, Ardmore hanged himself, FaceTiming the event in real time. Someone on the other end called police.
The rope that I gave him to escape his room in case of a fire, he used that rope to go into the basement and hang himself.
According to Mental Health America, blacks make up 13.4% of the U.S. population. Of those, 16% report having a mental illness.
Well, I see a lot of problems with people just getting access to health care in general.
Dr. Kim Jones-Fearing is a psychiatrist.
A lot of times, people really don't come for help until it's too late, until they've already had a hospitalization or they've already had a suicide attempt.
Mental illness can include, but is not limited to,
juvenile services,
Department
of Juvenile Services, and doing certificates of need for children. If you're having sad thoughts more than 14 days out of a month, or if you're having problems getting out of bed, worrying too much about things to the point where it's interrupting your ability to function.
In Ardmore's case, he was treated years ago while in high school. As for Darnell, he's still coming to terms with losing his only child.
The world still turns, and that's where I'm at right now.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
If you or someone you know is suffering from mental health issues, you can contact the National Alliance of Mental Illness, its Prince George's chapter at namipgc.org. Don't go anywhere. Simon Buggs is here with your Thursday Sports Page.
Well, What's up, sports fans? And coming up on your Thursday sports page, a football player from the Prince George's County area gets recognized for his productive season. That story and more coming up in a bit. Stay tuned.
Sometimes stress feels like the only constant, and I know that stress may lead to heart disease and stroke. So today I decided to put my phone down and simply breathe. I'm focusing on what I can control, like turning little moments into me time to help my mind, heart, and body. I'm reclaiming my time. Deep breaths for just 1 minute, a walk with my dog, or calling a friend. This is my time and my health, and moment by moment, I'm owning it.
Now that Christmas is over, you may be wondering how you can get rid of your live Christmas tree. It not only poses and takes up space in your living room, but as a dry tree, it could be hazardous in your home, a fire hazard that is. County residents wanting to recycle their live Christmas tree can either use curbside pickup or drop them off at the Brown Station Road Convenience Center.
If they have removed all of the adornments, all of the lights, all the ornaments, all the tinsel and everything, if they have curbside compost collection, they can just place it on the street on Monday with their regular yard trim collections. If they do not get curbside compost collections from the county, they are also welcome to take them to the Brown Station Road Convenience Center and drop them off for composting there as well.
The county will also pick up live garlands and wreaths. If you plan to use curbside pickup, any trees or trimmings must be placed outside by 6 a.m. on Mondays.
Okay, everybody, we begin your Thursday sports page with some college hoops news. Terps point guard Jameer Young has added another accolade to his already stacked resume as he was announced as the Big Ten Player of the Week. The Upper Marlboro native leading his team to 2 straight wins over Nichols and UCLA played a big role in him receiving this honor. In those 2 games, Young averaged 30 points as well as 9 boards. Young is the first Terps guard to be named the Big Ten Player of the Week since Anthony Cowan Jr. back in 2020. Young and the rest of the Terps will be in action next against Minnesota on Sunday. Moving on to more college sports news, congratulations to Prince George's County native Dorian Strong for making ESPN's Top 100 College Football Player Rankings of 2023. Strong, who plays cornerback for Virginia Tech, came in at number 80 in this year's list. He had a good season for the Hokies, recording 8 pass breakups, 3 picks, and led the nation in lowest completion percentage. Switching to the NFL, the Washington Commanders season hasn't gone as planned as the team is currently 4-12. And because of this disappointing season, fans are expecting big changes to be made during the offseason. But despite the potential changes that may take place, head coach Ron Rivera wants his team to remain focused on the game ahead.
I think the biggest thing more than anything else is a lot of these guys have been through this. They understand what it's all about. And I think, you know, if you are in this long enough, you will have that situation. And we'll just, you know, keep working through it. There's nothing you can do about what's going to happen beyond Sunday. So the focus should be on Sunday.
Washington's next opponent will be the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. And wrapping up sports, the Flowers High School girls basketball team will be in action tonight, taking on Laurel at 7:15. While the Wise High School girls basketball team will also be in action tonight when they take the court against Eleanor Roosevelt at 7:15 as well. And CTV Sports will have highlights from both games for you tomorrow. And that is your Thursday sports page. Simon Bucks, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. All right, let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Mostly clear and chilly. Lows around 24 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 41. Saturday, look for a high of 41, but it'll be a little rainy with a chance of snow. 44 degrees and partly sunny on Sunday. All right, that wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.